getting taken away or banned.
This is a 100% win rate on a Paquito. Picked once. Played by Dyron, none other. In the group stage, again in the EXP by RRQ. You're right, it's an odd pick.
Experience the youth.
Why? Against the CC, maybe?
I pretty agree with Lafel. Why do you pick Paquito so early? You got plenty of time. There is 1000% nobody gonna ban it, and still they want this combination. They want an aggressive movement, and I think, by the way, it's still flexible.
Yep, still pretty flexible, but looking at the bans here coming in from Team Liquid, banning out the Amon, it looks like they're thinking this Paquito is going to the EXP and Boxa is going over to Rome, so they're really looking at TNZ as probably going to be one of the main carries for the team.
TNZ still has a couple left. Again, the Guinevere, as mentioned, still possible to pick. I don't think they're going to let him pick the Hayabusa, so it's going to be Amon Hayabusa again.
Maybe it's Paquito jungle. What do you think about it?
It's been years since we last saw Paquito jungle.
Yes, but it's been years since we saw Atlas. Gushin, you know?
You know what? You got us there. You got us there. Pretty good point. Pretty good point here. So now Team Liquid find a ban. In the previous game, they banned out the Hayabusa. Will they do the same? Because they're going to be the ones picking after this. So, hey, maybe open up for yourself so that you can take it away. Right now, we're only seconds away. It looks like the final ban is going to be Hayabusa. They're going to open it up. They're banning out the Hayabusa. So that does mean that they have some other options in the jungle here. The question is, what?
Kaltizi can play almost damn near anything in the jungle, right? But what is left in the metagame that deserves to be picked here? Fredrin's still out there.
Assassin is the Joy.
The Joy is still out there.
Fredrin looks better, actually, for me. I think the utility jungler should help them. You know, you want additional crowd control, you want additional sustain for Liquid, for their composition, you want long fights.
Right now for Aurora, the final bans here, they ban out a Roamer, they ban out a Kalia, making sure that there's no way that they can start the fight instantly. And now looks like they're banning out the Badang as well, making sure that their frontliners doesn't get punished. TL has an option of picking up their Roamer or the jungler here. Kind of feel like picking up the jungle will deny and actually force out maybe this Boxia to eventually go to the jungle, which, you know, it's a good pick. But is it a pick that Aurora is comfortable with on TNZ?
For now, Aurora got 3 flexible picks. Actually, 3 heroes, and all of them can go anywhere. Okay, not anywhere, but for the several
lanes.
Yes, multiple lanes, absolutely. Team Liquid should understand it, and they should understand that Aurora making surprise. They're tricky guys.
Coach RC, Coach Tic Tac, forced to wonder. That's the Roamer right there. Team Liquid Philippines lock in the Matilda, put it into the hands of JP. So we don't know what Kaltizi is going to play. Here's the thing. I would feel weird if it was a Fredrin. Fredrin Matilda is a good combo, but I don't think that's enough damage for them. Aurora, pick up the Angela, often banned here in the metagame, alongside an Irritel. So we now know where everyone's going.
Actually, still questions. Baksha can go to XP lane, and Paquito can go jungle.
I think it's Baksha jungle.
Yes.
Safer that way.
It's safer, but still, it's Aurora, you know?
You're right.
They can do everything, and they making surprises. And maybe they're trying off guard Team Liquid.
See value in me?
Oh, you see the value in him? You should. The Fredrin gets picked up here. So, again, I kind of feel like it's still okay because CC can still deal damage, same as the Granger. And hey, deceptively, even the Jushin. What are your thoughts, Leo?
It's all in on Ohib. He's the only real reliable source of damage, but you're right, there is some damage in the CC, some finishing power in the Jushin. Destroyer. I see your face, you're still confused. What is Aurora doing?
Yes, but I like it. And you know, I'll tell my predictions. Okay, I like the combination with Matilda and Fredrin, but still I'm gonna say it's Aurora.
Hey, you know what? I like it. Speaking of things that I like Atrex and Mirko, so I'll just hear their voice to cast this one.
TLPH up 1 game. Now, Mirko, TLPH's draft, we both kind of decided it's by the book, it's textbook. They're coming in this series very, very clean. But what about Aurora?
Hey, this this is technically also a very like meta draft. It really depends on how you see the meta, right? Baksha, Angela, Irithel, this has been a thing for the longest time, terrorizing our ranked games. For you guys back at home play ranked games, you know how terrifying this composition is. But TLP just have so much disengage, so many ways to kite away. Like, just look at their movement abilities. This could just be the downfall too. If they are able to bait some big resources over, it could change everything.
But here's the real question. What about the Paquito? That's the spice in all of this, right? That's the question on our minds. We saw it picked before by Dyron on ID. It did well against my home team. It did very, very well. I remember it. It's in my memory. Well. But, you know, how do we feel about this?
Man, I agree with LaFell. I feel like it was too early. But I guess they wanted to really just hide the Angela for the later stage. So it really comes down to that. I'm a big fan of the Paquito. Now it's Flicker 4 from Apex. Sign up Sanford up top with the Vengeance already used up. Carl Teasy walks up to Lunar, trying to go for the kill, but the guiding win gets Sanford to safety. And it will be, I guess, a win for TL. They baited out a Flicker from Apex.
Yeah, 40 the Kid gets away with just a sliver of health there. I think the big thing about this Paquito is if it can go deathless for a little bit, get to that level 4 power spike, get to a little bit farther even. He can find the angles. It works as a possible type of assassin. It can close the distance onto the Jushin without having to deal with what they dealt with last game, just getting tossed around. So there are possibilities there. But where we've seen them mess up is the execution. So can they execute this composition correctly?
It really depends on how the Paquito gets to be played here. I agree with you. Now into the mid prio, TL actually just having the prio over. Goes in, that's gonna be traction pulse, someone does a kill over. That's Sanford locked down, has to run away. Carl still winning out the red tree battles as he goes in for the taunt. It's a two-man Lancer flip with a knock-up. TL, just get the turtle and back away.
Even in the midst of chaos, the young GOAT able to always secure the retry. This is something that Team Liquid, I think, prides themselves on, the ability to get those first turtles. Their rate is through the roof. Rosa in a little bit of trouble.
No flicker used. Rosa just took it.
Accepted
fate. Yeah, JP. Luckily for Aurora, they don't really lose too much because it's JP who got the kill. It would have been real bad if Oheb got the death Sonata. Look at that damage. Paquito. Yeah, on the note of Paquito, it's a very high-level hero, right? Like, it really comes down to how you execute it. So, if he gets an angle to somehow dive on Oheb, get Sanji low in the fight, it'll be massive. But if he just goes pure front to back, I'm not really a big fan of that. Tianzi, Shield Unity up. Just the battle of mid.
I mean, you could even say that picking up the more damage dealing the XP laner makes up for the lack of burst in your I guess no, they went for... I mean, you just kind of make up a bit for picking up the Angela. Angela, I feel like, yes, you get the sustainability, but you always kind of give up either a high set roamer, something of that nature. So at least you have something here. I think it could also pair well with the Angela. But still, yeah, definitely a risky pick, and it's all going to be about the angle that we see Lunar come from. And speaking of angles, Team Liquid looking for one on the Siggy Boom here.
Two-man gank down below, a guiding win for Oheb. Tianzi with the Baksha. Shield Unity forward, traction pulse, forcing Oheb to use the flicker. But again, so much movement. Like I said, they just have too much. It's so hard for Aurora to really force out these fights because, hey, you got a guiding win. You got 2 blinks on Sanji. Oheb always has the good old flicker. Now it's down, so that could be a way to punish with the Paquito later on. Good trade by Sigiboom.
Once again, though, do they need to look for those big fights here, right? Could they just kind of play this patient? I think anytime you have the mid lane Kimmy, you always have time. You know, if you can push a bit far back, you have an advantage. Not to mention Airthel as well. You're looking for those big burst items. You're looking for that crit damage. Moving on Turtle, though.
Yep. Shield Unity to cancel that out. Carl still walking up. Now Turtle can be reset now as that's going to be Sanford in the front, zoning everyone away with it. Carl wins the retry battle. Tianzi with retry a bit too early. Attraction pulse to disengage, and it is yet another win for TL. They're going for the purple buff straight.
Yeah, this is the thing about Carl Teasy, not only in the Fredrin as well, right? It makes it look easy to be able to walk into a turtle pit, get the stun real fast, hit the retry, and take it. A purple buff also now going over to the side of Team Liquid. We're 5 minutes in, almost a 1.5k gold lead. Aurora Gaming, I think they are at least playing it slower here, but they got to staunch the bleeding maybe a little bit more.
The thing is, do they want to play slower in game 2? That was game 1 strat. Sanji, Lantern Flare on 2. Forcing to flick around. Carl T's able to taunt now. Over to Rosa. It'll be Tianzi going for the shield unity. Oheb in the bottom lane. Tianzi walking up, zoning them from the turret to save Tier 1 down below. Still though, I think they kind of want the lead early this game, unlike game 1. Game 1, they had a composition where they get a big power spike mid to late. Here they do have heroes that get the power spike mid to late still, like the Kimmy. But, Liquid could very easily just match that, you know? Sanji caught again. That's going to be the shield unity again, but the guiding wind is right there. Sanji still has a flicker. It'll be a few more shots over. There's really just no risk. JP still has guiding wind, gets away. Oheb shoots him down. Too much disengaged, Trex.
Yeah, there's just no way to catch them right now. And this is something where I think the burst damage of the Paquito could help, but Lunar is stuck in EXP lane right now. He cannot leave at this moment. And we have seen Sanford at least able to rotate down a bit, but I don't think we've seen enough from Lunar. So we're coming into third turtle, and I think this is where it's really going to be crunch time, especially once we get to minute 8, first Lord time. If Aurora Gaming doesn't make something happen then, it could really spell trouble for them.
It's tough for Aurora. They're looking for anything they can find. And they can't really find much right now. Not even a power spike. Yeah. As Leo has just reminded me in, in the chat. TL, 2,000 gold lead. Again, just going for the turtle. And this is so difficult for Tianzi, dude. He tried predicting the goat's retry earlier by retrying early, thinking Carl would go for the stab into retry. But then when you try to read him, he just goes for the classic, nah, I'll just wait for you to retry. So calm, so composed, and now Tianzi won't even get an angle to go for the steal. He goes for the shield unity, and it gets cancelled out. Now 2-man stun. That's going to be traction pulse in the back, and another lantern flare over to Lunar, locking them down. Sanford the Vengeance just zoning them in the back. Heart Guard used up. Aurora are not dealing any notable damage to TL. They're just holding their ground with the healing of Mathilda.
Yeah, the healing of Mathilda, I mean, it's overall Team Liquid, when they get grouped up like that, when it's all 5 of them in a circle, Aurora Gaming unable to do anything. Lunar, we wanted to see this Paquito find angles. Instead, he came for a much more direct, just kind of walked in, immediately caught by the Lantern Flare. It's a problem. Aurora Gaming has to approach these fights a lot different.
Dude, if we were talking M3 Paquito, then yeah, you're great at chases, right? You have that reset constantly. I just remember Edward chasing Mobazane down for a long time on a Paquito. But here it's different. Like in this patch, it's different. Paquito is kind of like what you said, a burst hero. If you use your second skill twice, one time to get range, you're really not outputting the maximum amount of damage you would want. Carl forcing the retry from Tianzi, even though he doesn't have his own retry, just zoning them in the back again. 2-level lead on a Fredrin against Abaksha. Trex, Abaksha should always be ahead of a Fredrin, like usually in normal conditions. The fact that the Fredrin is 2 levels ahead and Tianzi can't even get in his own purple, it just gets tough. No retribution on Carl.
Lord,
on the back, forcing a flicker out from Rosa. Tianzi already has the hard guard, and TLPH are just looking at him.
Carl Teasy's just walking up in the jungle, taking whatever he wants. That's 2 purple buffs now, stolen away. We're wondering where that level gap is coming from. There it is. And then, I mean, Carl Teasy, he is able to match up with the speed of Tianzi a bit because of the Matilda, the rotations. They've gotten every single turtle. They're taking towers. It's not as bad as last game, but it's still very, very bad.
I think it's actually worse in a way, Trex.
Oh no!
Because at least game 1 they were able to get first blood early. They had some win conditions. Here their plan A is completely gone, and I don't know what plan B is. Last game they had a plan B at least. They had a Moskov, Kimmy, and a Joy that could scale up. There's that cope always to just say, hey, we're scaling, man. Just wait for 20 minutes. But this game, you wait 20 minutes, it'll end up being Team Liquid with the range, with the damage, with the disengage again. Like, it's just really tough, even if Aurora force a fight. TL Peach can just say, nah, fam.
Nah, fam. I feel it. I feel it, fam.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's tough. Aurora Gaming, because here's the thing too, is they have no big crowd control, no big way to make like a big set. They don't have like that big comeback opportunity play to lock everyone down and make us all go, whoa!
TL are the ones making us go whoa right now. That's a flicker burn just with a light on you, man. Sanji really lighting up the way for the team. He has 3 flickers, brother. Sanji. He has Crimson Beacon, Flicker, the real one, and then a Guiding Wind. How are you gonna catch the Zeus-in?
This is why there's 0 kills on the side of Team Liquid, 0 deaths on the side of Team Liquid right now. They're all untouchable at this point, and as they escape more and more with this gold lead, it's just going to become even harder.
3-man taunt over. Sanji walking up as well, getting the Lancer Flare, pulling Apex back for the Filipino sniper to get the shot down. Appraiser's Wrath, another kill over to Oheb. It's a double. Sigibu with a heavy crossbow will just fall again. Oheb with a triple, looking for the Maniac. Rosa with the flicker out to base. Now it's a full taunt over. Oheb's a Maniac.
Oh, they're going for it. They're going
will deny the Savage, but TL we're never looking for it. They just wanted